Hey everybody, I'm here with Kane. We're talking See No Evil 2. Now, I am a huge fan of the first one, unashamedly. Why is it taking so long to get a sequel?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll be very frank. I think the reason was just internally with WWE Studios, just going through some changes and that sort of stuff and turnover. And, it was like, 7, 8 years. The See No Evil 1 was the debut film from WWE Studios, and it was commercially successful. So I thought, well, bam, within a year or two, they'd be doing a sequel. And they didn't, and I actually forgot about it, and it was a surprise when I got the phone call, saying that, hey, we'd like to do another one of these.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been really exciting for you. How the hell did he survive the end of part 1?
I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows in this interview. I don't know. That was one of the things that everybody's like, so how are they going to bring Jacob back? Because he was, and pretty definitively, there was no ambiguity about that. Right. So, but no, Jacob's just really tough. Yeah. So, and he's got a reserve of strength, I guess, that we didn't know about.
What would you say is different or unique about this one, comparing it to the first one?
I think people are going to be very surprised and impressed just about the quality of the work itself, as far as having the Sasuke Twins involved and how they do things. And they're going to be very probably shocked at how visually stunning the movie will be because of all what they bring to the table. And then plot-wise and character-wise, there's all of the characters have emotional depth, including Jacob, which is a little different, especially for movies in this particular genre. Jacob is not just like a force of nature that runs around indiscriminately taking care of people. There is a rationality behind his irrationality, and that is explored to some extent in this movie, much more so than it probably was in the first movie. The mom is still the villain in this movie, even though now she's acting from beyond the grave. In the first movie, she was the villain, and just like in Psycho, Jacob was really the instrument through which she operated. But nevertheless, I think people are going to be surprised just how much character development there is in the movie.
Is there a kill sequence that was really fun to shoot? That one, the one that you think everybody's going to remember?
Yeah, but I can't tell you which one. There was one. I think it was really, really cool, and I've never seen anything like it. And I think people are going to be like, "Oh, that was really neat."
Right. Can you talk a little bit about working with the Sasuke Twins? Because obviously they have a huge fan base. This is sort of their first studio type thing. What do they bring to the table?
They keep on saying you have to tell everybody that we're really mean. And, they're often introduced as the notorious Sasuke Twins. They're awesome. They're great. I enjoyed working with them so much. They understand their craft. We would be doing a gag, and they would actually explain to me what was happening and where the history behind this particular gag, which they got from like a French film in 1953 or something like that. So they really are students of what they do. And we did a 15-day shoot, so there's a lot of pressure. You have to stay on schedule, because if you get off schedule at all, it messes everything up. And of course, during a 15-day shoot, you just can't help it. There's gonna be points where you get a little off schedule. And as you said, this is the Twins' first studio movie, so you would think that they would be the ones freaking out because they got a lot riding on this, and they weren't. They were just as calm as can be. Now, they actually were freaking out, but they wouldn't let anybody know that. So not only do they bring great technical skills, but they also bring great leadership, which is what directors have to do. And the fact that they're twins is very different and very interesting, because originally I was like, okay, how am I going to work with two people? Because normally the way that the movie works is you have the director who is basically the boss on set, and then of course you have different people that do different things. The director of photography is very important as well, but the director is the guy that's making the ultimate decisions, giving everybody the directives from on top. So how is that going to be sort of two people sharing a vision? Well, what would happen would be that Sylvia would be behind the camera watching things. often, and sometimes they would switch roles. But anyway, but then Jen would be the one, on set, and then you go through, you go through whatever scene that you had, and Sylvia wouldn't even say anything. She would still be watching, and Jen would go and tell you what tweaks to make, and then you'd shoot it again, and Sylvia would be like, "Okay, that's perfect," and you're like, wait a second. How is it that they knew what each other, and they do, they know what
Right.
each other's thinking. It's the old deal about how, one twin will start a sentence and the other one will finish it. Right. That's their directing style. And instead of being more difficult because you're working with two people, it's like their unique abilities that each one brings is magnified, because it's almost like working with one person who just, with one brain who just sort of shares two separate bodies. Right. As weird as that sounds.
I was talking to Dylan downstairs, Hornswoggle, and he laid the gauntlet down. He said Leprechaun is going to be the biggest WWE film ever, after See No Evil 1 was.
It'll be the biggest after See No Evil 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your response to that? Do you have a challenge for him?
No, I'm just going to shove him back down that pot of gold that he crawled out of. That's what I'm going to do.
And finally, is this going to be the end of Jacob, or are we going to see him in See No Evil 3?
You never can tell, man. And certainly if I have the opportunity to work with the Soskas again, I wouldn't pass that up.